Hi, this is Ask Katie the Drug Lady, and I'm here to talk about a question I get about 1,000,000 times a day. Why does my prescription take so long? So that's a very complicated question because there's a whole lot of steps involved in filling a prescription, way more than you, the regular customer, know. And there's a lot going on behind the pharmacy that the customers just don't even realize is a thing. So I'm here to walk you through how that prescription goes from just that piece of paper with illegible handwriting to pills in a bottle. And please, I beg of you, never say to your pharmacist, "Oh, you just slap a label on it." Don't do that. Don't do that. No. And I hope everybody likes my Breaking Bad shirt. Big fan of Breaking Bad. And I actually used to drive a Pontiac Aztec like he did in the film. So lots of jokes in the pharmacy about the Sudafed back there. So here we go. You take your prescription into the pharmacy and you turn it in. Now, if it's a hard copy prescription, I'd say 8 times out of 10, it's going to be for a controlled substance. It's just a lot easier for doctors that way. They have to pay a lot of money to be able to e-scribe those in. And when nurses and doctors call them in, there's a lot of issues that can come up as well. So whether it's a hard copy or a called in or an e-script, there can be issues. If it's a narcotic, and I say narcotic, it's a C2, and I'll go through all the schedules later, but if it's an Adderall, a Percocet, oxycodone, hydrocodone, any of those that are the most controlled, if that doctor hasn't signed it, that's not good. I can't take that prescription, you gotta take it back to the doctor. There's a lot of things on C2s that can and can't be changed, and even though some things allow us to change things on a prescription, it's still not very ethical to do. If DEA comes in and audits, even though it's legal, it's still not best practice to change things on those prescriptions because they're so controlled. Now, if it's just a regular controlled substance, your Xanaxes, all those benzodiazepines, Ambien, we can call and verify and add those things. But still, that takes time. There's no special bat signal that the pharmacy sends out to the doctor's office that gets their attention any more than you do. If anything, you're their patient. You pay them. Your insurance pays them. They're more likely to answer you and respond to you more than just me at the pharmacy. So, no special line, I promise. So there can also be problems with the directions. So we have to make sure that the medicine you're taking is prescribed correctly. Doctors, they only take about 1 to 2 classes of pharmacology in college. They might specialize, and then they specialize in their medications, which is another reason why you should go to a doctor that specializes in what you're going for. If you're going for migraines, go to a neurologist. No offense to the OBGYNs out there, but I have a lot of OBGYNs prescribing antidepressants, migraine medicine, all sorts of things that are kind of outside of their scope of practice, and most of the time they're just refilling for other doctors because nobody wants to pay the money to go to the doctor, and I get that. But that's the problem. If you don't specialize, you can make a lot of mistakes. You could have an extended release drug that should only be taken once a day. I've seen it prescribed 3 times a day, and I have to call to verify. You could have a drug interaction because your OBGYN doesn't know that your other doctor is giving you this other thing that interacts with this. So that's where we come into play, which is why you should always go to the same pharmacy because we have a list of all your meds. If you're going to Walmart and Walgreens and Bilo for those $4 plans, you're really hurting yourself because you could fill something at Bilo and I don't, me over here at the other store doesn't know what you're doing, or you could go to Walgreens. And just, it's not good. It's not good. So, all these things we're checking to make sure that you're safe. Your insurance company also checks these things and at least gives us a heads up if there's a really bad interaction so that we can call and say, oh my god, I didn't even know they were on this medication. So that's helpful as well. So again, running stuff through your insurance and not doing those $4 plans, not that I don't appreciate the savings, but they can be detrimental to your health. So, all of those go into play just in that little tiny second of you dropping that prescription off, and the tech or intern or pharmacist, whoever's typing it in, can find all of these errors, all of them. The prescription could be expired. C2s only have 90 days on those prescriptions, and they're bad. Controlled substances have 6 months on them, and then they're bad. Um, Non-controls, there's wiggle room. But either way, that prescription could be too old to fill or be covered by the insurance. Oh God, insurance! Heaven forbid there's an insurance problem and we have to call. Because again, there's no special line for me to get to the insurance. There's no special, like, oh, I'm a pharmacist. No, you still sit on hold and then you get some guy who can't understand. You know that they mess up the name Katie? You know how many Katies were born in the 80s? A lot. And they still mess up the name Katie, okay? So you get somebody who doesn't understand you, can't hear you because the line's bad, and sometimes I have to be transferred to somebody who knows what they're doing. Insurance companies, especially when you've just gotten a new plan, so many problems can happen. They can have your birthday wrong. I've seen birthdays inverted, so instead of your birthday being June 5th like mine, it's May 6th, because they inverted it. Happens all the time. I had this grown woman who in my computer system was a toddler for the longest time because she wouldn't call her insurance and fix it. So I'm sitting there trying to bill birth control for a toddler. And it looks terrible, but we knew she wasn't actually a toddler. They had messed up her birthday in their system. So I had a lot of girls named Jordan recently, or Taylor, or Tyler, that the computer says they're boys, like their insurance says they're boys, and I'm like, I'm billing birth control, like we've got issues, y'all. So lots of issues with insurance that again you have to call, and sometimes if I have other people in the waiting area or other people coming back to the drive-thru and they have especially flu season, those people want those meds quick. They got a crying baby in the car that's sick. No offense to anybody on Adderall or on birth control. I mean, everybody needs some birth control sometimes. So no offense to that, but you're not going to die without the birth control. You're not going to die without the Adderall. There are people out there that need these medications, or they could get really, really sick, and I'm not going to put their health in front of somebody else's unnecessary, your acne cream. I mean, I have acne, and again, total empathy there, but we also have to have sympathy for others. So try to understand that when you're going into the pharmacy. And you might not see those people because there's drive-thrus, or they dropped it off and they're running home to drop off this person who just had surgery and they're coming right back. Or, e-prescriptions. So doctors will e-prescribe over antibiotics and antivirals and things like that. Those tend to get escalated in the computer system so that those are pushed to the front because those people need those. So you might not be seeing it, but I have something in my computer that's due in 10 minutes because we're anticipating that person coming in any minute. So that happens. If you're coming in at a certain time, we might have just gotten our delivery. So I've promised people from days prior, possibly Friday even, it's Monday, and I need to get these prescriptions done because I've promised these people it at a certain time. So if you just happen to come in at that time when I'm having to get 15 prescriptions ready because we had to order this stuff in, sorry. There's also times when pharmacies are short-staffed. There's a lot of overturn in retail pharmacy. Techs quit all the time. People retire. And it takes a while to get a technician up and running and trained and things like that. There's just not this bank of technicians out there all wanting a job. And not everybody's good at retail pharmacy. It's a very hard job. So just be aware when somebody says, oh, we had a call out. If you've ever worked in retail, if you've ever worked in food service and you've had somebody call out, please, and even if you haven't worked in those jobs, bless your heart, because I really wish I never had to work in food service, I'll tell you that much. So please just be respectful of that if somebody's telling you they're overworked. And I promise you, it'll come back to you. Good things will happen to you, promise you. I've given cookies out when we've been really short-staffed and somebody said, oh, I'm going to come back in an hour. I've given people a literal cookie, okay? It's really nice to do that for people. And the pharmacy staff, they're going to be the ones that find you that discount card and save you $60 on a prescription. Those are the people you want on your team. Okay? So now let's get to the counting area. So we've put in this prescription. We've gotten it through the insurance. Oh, and if it needs a prior authorization, that could be a week. So sorry about that. Second thing is we count it. when we're counting it, we can find out our computer's wrong and then we don't actually have the drug, or the drug on the shelf is expired. I'm not going to give you something that's expired. Oh, so then we'd have to order it. So that takes about a day. If it's a narcotic, it can take longer because that has to be on a special DEA form that's mailed away, approved, and then we get the order mailed. So just be aware that that could take days. The next thing is it gets to the pharmacist station. Now, some computer systems in pharmacies, it's typed, it's checked by the pharmacist that it's typed correctly. If it's not typed correctly, it goes back to the technician. Others, it will just be typed, go to processing, then go to the pharmacist for checking. So if that prescription was not typed perfectly, and I mean the directions are right, the refills are right, the drug is right, everything's right, then it gets flinged back, and the whole process starts over again. So there's that kerfuffle. Another thing is if you didn't give us your insurance card and say we've always just done a discount card for you, and it gets to the end of the line, we go to ring you up and you say, oh, I have my insurance. Well, that has to go all the way back, rebuild through the insurance, all the way back to the pharmacist, and then to the patient again. So having everything ready and at hand when you drop off that prescription is amazing. We will so appreciate it. If when you drop off that prescription, you also give us your insurance card, you give us your ID in case there's address change or anything like that. You just change everything, give allergies, all that stuff right then and there. Because waiting until the end of the line, ooh, Nelly, ooh, you will never meet a more pissed off person than right there. So I hope this helped somebody. I hope this helped you understand just the whole process. And if you check out my Facebook page, I actually have a Katie the Drug Lady Facebook page where there's a whole algorithm. Somebody sat and made a flow chart of the pharmacy and all the places that this prescription, like your prescription, can go wrong. Another thing, if you're dropping off a packet, like if you just got discharged from the hospital, again, sympathy, empathy, everything from my heart, honest to God, but you're dropping off 5 prescriptions, one that probably has to be counted by the pharmacist. That's another thing. C2s usually, it depends on the company. Legally, an intern, a technician, anybody can count a narcotic. But because of theft in the pharmacy, it's best that the pharmacist count it. Because the majority of theft happens from technicians or interns. I have a theory on that you're not paying them well enough. Because it's really hard when you're starting out as a technician and you're making, a little more than minimum wage, and you're counting pills that could be gone and sold on the street for $20 a pill. That's really tempting. I completely see that. So, I've never stolen anything, but I can completely understand why somebody would be tempted to do that. So that's another thing. The controlled substances in C2s also have to be double counted. So if you're dropping off a prescription for 270 tramadol, that means I have to count 270 twice. These tiny little pills. So much fun. And lorazepam 0.5 is the tiniest pill I've ever seen. I don't see how it could even get a mouse high. It's so tiny. So that's really hard to count twice. The pharmacist, when they're counting C2s, or a technician who's counting a C2, will count it twice. Then they have to take the bottle it came out of and back count it to make sure that, say I have a 100 count bottle, and I counted 60 out of that for your prescription. I have to make sure there are 40 tablets remaining in that bottle because it is highly regulated by the DEA, and I have to keep accurate records at all times. So please be aware of that. Again, if you want to email me at katiethedruglady@yahoo.com, that's up there if you have any questions. But this is a question I get every single day. And I hope you don't mind this t-shirt because I'm going to do a couple videos because I'm sick. My kids are sick right now. So I just want to get it out of the way. In fact, my baby's crying. So thanks. Have a good day.